Welcome to another Out of the Park 24 video. In this one, I'm going to take over the Milwaukee Brewers. Those of you who have seen Wayne's World, hopefully you just thought of Alice Cooper's quotes about Milwaukee. So why the Brewers? What am I doing? This is not a long-term sim. Generally, when the game comes out for the first few weeks, I just do some short-term sims while some bugs get worked out with the game. I think the game seems pretty stable this year, other than the AI. Well, I shouldn't say other than. The one thing that I've noticed so far is the AI trade logic is just kind of wild. Prospects, really good prospects getting traded, who normally wouldn't be traded and also certainly wouldn't be traded for the packages that they're being traded for. And it kind of seems to be a pattern across the game right now. So I tried to change a couple things in the settings to see if it'll help. I changed the ratings weight back to what I normally play. This was like whatever it was, 35 and 50 ratings in current year. They changed this year, so I changed it back to how I've played it. And then I also changed, what else did I turned the AI trading frequency down to low, and then I bumped favors prospects one notch towards that. So see if that'll help kind of the wild trades of like Jason Dominguez getting traded for Gio Urshela, or like Cartea or whatever the Dodgers catching prospect was traded. I had one sim here where Anthony Volpe was traded for like not much. So hopefully that will stabilize it a bit. So I'm gonna do the Brewers. How many seasons? I don't know. We'll do a couple, 2 or 3 maybe. See what's going on. I think the Brewers are in an interesting spot because they have Yelich, who really has not been a superstar player since like 2019. There was a shortened season, which no big deal. And then he's just kind of been like a little better than league average in 21 and 22. And he's 31 and he has a huge contract. So yeah, he's kind of like signed to a franchise player contract, but stopped playing like a franchise player after the contract. Some of that, I think, is that, and I think I said this in an earlier video, just basically like, I think some of it might be a back injury. Some of it might be that he's been dealing with. Some of it might be that the rabbit ball era of everybody hitting tons of home runs might be over. But I think he's still a good player, but I don't know that he's this good of a player anymore unless he can elevate the ball a lot more than he's doing. It's also a really interesting time for them because, I mean, I would say, Yelich, Woodruff, Burns is kind of like their franchise, right? And Adames has become a really good centerpiece for them. And these three guys, Woodruff, Burns, and then Adames is like a second tier below that. All of just like they're under club control through 2024, and then they're free agents. So some interesting decisions to make. The team has kind of been sputtering. The farm system isn't in great shape. I think this is a tough team to figure out what to do at this point without going. So, two things I'm not going to do is I'm not going to trade Yelich, and I'm not going to go full rebuild. I think in a couple of years, if things go south for the Brewers in real life, they could be headed towards a rebuild. Now, that's not a guarantee. Like, Yelich could always bounce back. They've got a few good young prospects. They could always extend Woodruff and Burns long term. Like, things could turn around quickly for them. But I think they're over the next season or two at a really interesting fork in the road, and I want to be here to manage them through that. So Woodruff and Burns are both open to extensions. I'm not going to extend them right now. Extending a pitcher, one who's 30 and one who's 28, 2 years before they're free agents makes me a little nervous. I don't really like to do that. I think in real life it'd be totally reasonable, but 10 years to a 30-year-old Woodruff, the AAV, the salary is reasonable, but I'm not signing him that long. I think Burns is 2 years younger at 28, and wants 10 years. Another, the salary isn't crazy. It's the 10 years that's crazy. So, I'm not doing this deal. I'm not getting anywhere near 10 years. I think, given the Brewers like financial reality, this year we have 12 million in budget space and we're at 112. So, take about 125 we can spend on salaries. Next year, because of all the increasing arbitrations, we're already at 153. So we're way, 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 way over budget for next year. And I think we can get around that some. We've got some arbitration guys who probably aren't worth their arbitration estimates. We've got a $10 million on Wade Miley option. I think we can get around these things. but we'll just have to see. Man, Jesse Winker is just not good in the field. I like Jesse Winker as a player a lot, though. So what do we do from here? So let's go through the team and just kind of figure out like get the lay of the land here. Now I am going to let Craig Counsell manage the lineups, all that. And he does have Christian Yelich batting eighth and playing left field. Oh, they have Winker DHing. Okay, that's good. I like that. So Contreras is our starting catcher at 25 years old. Not good catcher ability, but I think that's okay. Was a very good catcher for Atlanta in kind of like halftime duty. But then once they got Sean Murphy, he was traded as part of a 3-player trade. Oh, I was going to tell you what it is. I can't remember all the players, so I won't try to guess them and get it wrong. Excuse me. Or maybe he was part of that whole trade. But anyway, so yeah, he was traded to the Brewers. Not great catcher ability. We'll see how that works out. Caratini, I don't think is great defensive. He's a 55 catcher ability. Yeah, I mean, we'll see if catcher ability matters, how much this year. Once Sergeant Mushroom lets us know. I still, even though catcher ability wasn't like a must-have like it was in previous versions, I still preferred guys like 60, 65 or above because I do think it still helps, just not to the extent that it used to help. So I don't know. I mean, I like William Contreras a lot, but I'm not totally sure about this catcher ability long term. Rowdy Tellez, I'm a huge Rowdy guy. Fly ball hitter in Milwaukee is going to do some damage, I think. So I like that. And sorry if I get Bryce Turang's name wrong. Sorry if it's Turang. So really good young prospect who's going to be playing second base for us. If the Brewers are going to be good for 7 more years, a guy like Bryce needs to step up. And then we've got the brother of Gold Glover Ramon Urias, Luis Urias here. He's a solid third baseman. His arm isn't great for third base, but I think he can come over and play second too. He's a starter on this team, even if his defense isn't ideal for third base. Willie Adames, thank goodness, has that 70 infield range. He's a cornerstone at shortstop for us. Actually, does he want an extension? Gosh, that is mighty pricey, Willie. Man. Yeah, we'll see about that. I'm not going to re-sign him to that deal right now. We've got Yelich in left field. It would be great if he could bounce back, but I don't know, man. Garrett Mitchell, the youngster, he'll be in center field. He's got the 65 range, so that's kind of borderline. I would much rather a 70-plus range center fielder, but for now, he's going to go into opening day as our starter. Then we've got Brian Anderson here. For some reason, is going to be our starting right fielder. Was not all that great in 2022 with Miami. And then Jesse Winker had a down year. He was always kind of like a breakout candidate for a really long time. And was always a solid player, but then in 2021 had that breakout with Cincinnati. And then last year came back down to earth and was not that great for the Mariners. Health, I think, is a big issue for him generally. So who else are our backups? Good question. Tyler Naquin, corner outfielder, can fake it in center, I guess, if you need him to every once in a while. That's our outfield. Abraham Toro, who, we'll give him a chance here. He's 26. He's cheap, but he's not really good anywhere defensively, but he's not terrible. He's got an option year left. We'll see what we do with him. Josh Van Meter, another guy who can play a bunch of places, but not great anywhere. I don't know that he's going to survive this season on our roster. And so that's the hitters. We got Burns and Woodruff. Eric Lauer's the third starter. For some reason, extreme fly ball is really worrying in Milwaukee, which is tends to favor home runs a bit, increase home runs a little bit, does not suppress them. Freddie Peralta, I think, is probably our true number 3. Again, I have so many fly ball pitchers and extreme fly balls in the staff. That is worrying. I don't really know that this guy needs to be my 5th starter as an extreme fly ball 28-year-old who's pitched exactly 116 innings in the majors and none since 2019. If I'm letting Counsell, he's out of option years. If I'm letting Counsell manage my rotation, I might need to take his toy away here and just get rid of him. Devin Williams, Matt Bush, great back end of the bullpen. Ethan Small's a guy I'd rather see in the rotation. Even Wade Miley, I'd rather see in the rotation. Bryce Wilson, maybe? Maybe not. I think this bullpen is fine. I think I'll need to bring in a couple guys, but I think I'll play it out a bit and see who's pitching well, who's struggling. I think we could have some guys seriously struggle with all the fly ball pitchers. Prospect-wise, I'm not going to control prospects in this. I'm going to let the assistant GM do it, just since this is a shorter-term sim. But Chiriot is obviously a stud who's on the way but not quite ready yet. Should be a really good corner outfielder. And it looks like he could maybe even fake it at second base as a decent second baseman. We might try to get him some infield experience just to give him more position flexibility, because he could even, come up and be a super utility guy who plays 6 days a week just in, 4 different positions. So I'll consider that as the minor league season gets started. Sal Frelick is another guy who can't play center but looks like a really good bat. Robert Gasser, I think, could be up this year for us. 62nd prospect in baseball, according to this. But he's not on the 40-man yet. And then we got Garrett Mitchell. Nobody else who's too close, I don't think. A bunch of guys in A, a couple AA. But yeah, this is the 12th best system in baseball. We've got 3 guys in the top 62 who could all be on our roster by, next year sometime. I think some of them sooner, obviously, but Chiriot, I don't know. I don't think he'll be up this year, maybe sometime next year, depending on how he plays. So what is this team named? I think I'm going to leave the pitching alone for now. I think I'll generally leave the hitting alone for now, too. I'll probably, for the most part, I'm thinking, unless I, get on something wild here as I go through it, I think I'll leave the team alone for the most part for the first few weeks and then kind of supplement. But I'll probably make waiver claims. Maybe I'll make some trade offers. I wouldn't mind getting rid of Eric Lauer's $5 million salary. He's fine. I wouldn't mind getting rid of Wade Miley's 3.5 and then $10 million option. So, I just, all the respect in the world to real life Wade Miley. He's just continued to manage to stay relevant into now the second half of his 30s, but out of the park. I mean, he's a ground ball pitcher. Maybe I'll keep him for that. But I'm just not sure how long he'll stick around. So I'll fiddle with the team here some. I think I'm gonna. Well, actually, let me look at the personnel. I'm gonna make some changes here to the personnel. The pitching coach, Chris Hook, and I'm gonna say this about Chris Hook. I also mean it about all the players I just evaluated. I'm talking about out of the park and how my scout sees them. So don't be like, you've got it all wrong on this guy. He's great in real life. If I say he's not, I'm just going by what out of the park says. This is not the same as evaluating these players in real life. So here we go. He's only decent at teaching pitching. He's only average at development, average at mechanics, average at aging. Relationships are good. But that's not good enough to keep around. Same with the hitting coach. Decent hitting, good development, average aging. We can do better than that. Scouting director highly favors ability. That's good enough for the pink slip with me. I want to highly favors tools. I've already identified the guys that I'm going to bring in. Let me just go I'm going to bring in RJ Harrison here. Highly favors tools and looks rather excellent. So we're going to offer him a deal. He wants 5 years, 1.195. So we'll go 1,000,9. There we go. Submit. I think we'll probably get him for that. Joey DeMonte has really good relationships with all the hitters. You can see some excellent, outstanding ratings here. So we'll go 3. That's fine. Submit. And then Brian Conger is what I really wanted was, it seems like a lot of guys had poor relationships with Woodruff, so I that was kind of a necessity that you couldn't have a poor relationship with one of my 2 aces. This guy gets along really well with every pitcher on the staff. He's got excellent teaching pitching, and then he's good at everything else. So that's good enough for me. It was hard to find somebody. Everybody who had better ratings here than good did not have good relationships with a lot of my pitchers, so that's why I ended up going with this guy. We'll do 3 years to start. So we'll make those changes. I'll leave the minor league coaches alone for this year. Just not going to get in the weeds at this point. Look at the player development budget. In general, I zero these out, but then hold the salary. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I won't. Player development budget, we'll leave it there for now. I want to bump it up, but we really don't have a ton of budget room right now. So hopefully over the course of the sim, we can bump it up some more. Scouting, ooh, we're only throwing $9.4 million at scouting and way too much at major and minor league. Let's take these down to like 10 and take these way up. All right, so 40 in amateur, 40 international, 10 for major and 10 for minor. I don't need the scouting reports on upcoming opponents, but I appreciate it. So I'm going to do that. I'd love to dump a bit more in, but I want to work out the roster and stuff first. See, maybe I can cut a salary here. Is Winker worth 8.2? Like, it would really be nice to throw another 5.1 into my scouting rather than Lauer. I think he's replaceable. Brian Anderson at 3.5, I think he's replaceable. And, there are probably some other guys. Keston Hura, is he on the 40 man or do they already have him off of it in this? Was he, where's my man? I don't remember seeing him here. Hold on. Oh, he is on the active roster. I missed him. I'm a big Hura fan. He's a captain. It's a shame how much he's gone downhill in real life. But I'll keep him on the roster as a captain. He might not play much, but he'll stick around for now. Yeah, it looks like every 15th game he's going to get in against lefties and every 20th. So him and Toro are probably redundant pieces, but we'll figure out the opening day roster. We'll get there. So I'll fiddle around some. Maybe I'll make a bunch of trades. Maybe I won't. And then we'll skip up to opening day here. All right, so we're up to opening day. Now, I did have to, this is actually a different save, but I just, came back. I had some issues with the financials. I was making some moves, and, the money that was coming back as available wasn't lining up right. So I don't know what's going on with it. I didn't dig too far. Like I said, these are just kind of mess around sims while the bugs get worked out. I couldn't exactly figure out what's going on there, but I started a new one, and then still, the financials didn't look right when I was changing amounts for draft picks and all that. The money available for free agents wasn't matching what I was subtracting from my draft slot, etc. But so I came back in. I hired the same pitching, hitting, and coaches and the scouting director that you saw just a minute ago. Preseason prediction time. We're predicted to go 80 and 82. I haven't made any moves yet. I did sign some minor league free agents. Woodruff and Burns, both supposed to be top pitchers, no hitters here. That's not really all that surprising. Look at the 639 runs. That would be second worst in the league. Tied with the Mets, only scored 639 runs and only won 84 games. Now, this is just one sim, right? That could happen. But I bet they'll finish way better than that. Looking like our pitching's pretty strong, though, with a 3.83 ERA. One thing, let me just see if this is still the case. One thing that, so these guys like Burns and Woodruff on this new sim, they're actually not open to long-term deals. They're not asking for long-term deals, I should say. And Willie Adames, his is no longer a 10-year deal either. He's looking for a 4-year deal, which is actually pretty reasonable for as good of a shortstop as he is. At this type of money, I could see him possibly sticking around. Although my new scout only sees him as a 65 infield range. That's interesting. We'll see how he does handling shortstop. Maybe we'll hold off extending him until we see how he does that. Yelich still batting 8th down here, but yeah, the roster's the same. I just DFA'd 2 guys. I DFA'd Van Meter and I DFA'd that number 5 pitcher, whoever it was. Wade Miley's the number 5 guy now. I'm not going to control lineups or rotation in this one. I am just controlling the pitch count just so the starters don't go too long in games. But other than that, I'm going to let Craig Counsell decide. And yeah, so I'm probably, like I said, I'm not going to make a ton of moves here to start the season. I'm going to let it play out a little bit, at least a few weeks, and then maybe get into the weeds more with trades and tinkering once we see how the Brewers come out of the gate here. But we're now a month into the season, about a month. We're on May 2nd. I wanted to stop and just update it because I don't know how long this is going to last. We're 20-8 in first place. I haven't done anything with the team other than the coaching changes and deciding like who the 26 men are. So, hey, maybe those coaching changes just were all the Brewers needed. Just a quick look at what's going right. I mean, Rowdy Tellez has been a monster. Our record's 20-8, by the way. Did I say that? A 174 WRC plus. William Contreras just crushing it. I called up Mike Brousseau because Terang got hurt, which is a major bummer. He's our leadoff hitter, but Brousseau has I think that's actually all levels here. Why are we on all levels and not just major league? I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I was like, Brousseau hasn't been up that long. Okay. Yeah, he's got a 90 WRC. He was ripping it up in AAA. Urias, Adames, Anderson's been good. Torres been solid. You can see we're 20-8, and Christian Yelich has been awful. 45 WRC plus, struck out in 31% of plate appearances. He's playing good defense, 2.8 zone rating already. He's got a 273 BABIP. Like, if this was like, Caratini's 182, it'd be like, oh, okay, well, he's going to get some positive regression. 273 isn't like a terrible BABIP. He's just been bad. He hasn't gone yard yet, so this could be a really long contract. Hura, he's a leader, so I'd like to. He's a captain, but I have enough captains. I have another captain. I can't remember who it is, but I've got multiple leaders and another captain on the team. So I don't know if Hura, given his salary, is long for this team. It's just not really working out. He doesn't play anywhere well defensively, which is a shame, man. He was such an exciting prospect when he came in, like 19? Yeah, 2019 hit 19 home runs in 347 plate appearances. So it sucks to see a young, exciting player for that to happen in real life and then the game. But I don't know how much longer he'll be around. Naquin. And I guess I should point out Hura's BABIP is 091. I hadn't noticed that. Naquin's BABIP is 125. So maybe they buy themselves a little more time with that. But even if these two guys are hitting well, I'm not sure they're they're definitely not long-term pieces for us, I don't think. And I think we could get upgrades there. I like Hura though, so we'll probably keep him around for a bit. On the pitching side of things, Corbin Burns. We lost opening day 16-3. Where is it? Here. Yeah, he went an inning and 2/3 and gave up 8 runs. You can see he's been pretty much dominant since then. I mean, he's been player of the game his last 4 starts. He's got his ERA, it was at 43.20. He's got it down to 3.90 after just 5 more starts. So a miserable opening day, but then has bounced back. Woodruff has been really good. Really, the rotation's been good. The bullpen's been good overall. Runs scored were 5th. Runs allowed were 2nd. Our defense is good. We've been playing good baseball. I don't necessarily expect this to continue. I don't expect like Rowdy Tellez to be like the MVP of the league at the end of the season. But we've banked 20 wins already. Hopefully we can remain competitive at least. I'm not gonna change anything in the roster now because it's working. I would like to get more budget space here. Because, I did zero out this is like $15 million we're going to need for draft and amateur free agents. So really we only have like $3 million unless, we go underslot in the draft, which could always happen. But it's an argument for moving out some salary maybe that isn't needed. Like Adrian Hauser is on a rehab assignment. I'm not sure where he fits into this club and he's making $3.6 million. Same thing with, what's his name? Was just talking about him. Hura. He's making $2.2 million. I'm not sure we need to be spending that money on him, but I have shopped them around, and there's no interest in either guy, really at all. We would basically have to take on money to get rid of either of them. So yeah, I don't know where I'll take the team from here, but I think it's just kind of a wait and see on where we upgrade the roster, where we make changes, where we have money. But just wanted to let you guys know that things are off to a ripping good start. And one thing I did mean to show you is that our run differential is decent. We're plus 39, so we're plus 2 on our Pythagorean of 18 and 10. But even our run differential and all of our stats say we've played really well. Now will we continue it? I don't know. We'll see. Play ahead here a bit and see how things continue to go. All right, so we're up to July 25th. Jumped ahead. The Brewers are still having a really good season at 58-42, first place in the Central, only 3.5 above the Cardinals. But the Cardinals are leading the wild card too, so we're in a good spot, but certainly not like not free and clear of danger if we were going to go into a cold streak. The Orioles, of course, winning the AL East. Twins in the Central. Mariners and Astros tied in the West. Angels actually having a decent season. The Mets seem to be running away with the East, even though the Braves are pretty good. And then we talked about the Central, and then the West. The Dodgers with 59 wins. The Padres a pretty good season so far too. Cardinals, Braves, Padres are the wild card. Phillies, the Pirates kind of in the hunt. Wow. I mean, yeah. The NL, I think this is probably pretty clearly the three favorites to get the wild card, but the AL appears to be, I think, a much more competitive league this season. The American League's really good compared to the National League, I think, these days in real life. But anyways, so what's going on? Let's let me show you the transactions first, because some of the players here, I didn't do any crazy trades, but I have made some moves. We're in July. Let's go back to May. Let's see. Anything here? I think it's more just calling guys up, optioning guys. Nothing major here. I designated Adrian Hauser for assignment, which I know is a huge deal. And then in June is when some of the stuff started. So I traded. I got Spencer Turnbull from the Tigers. Let's go Tigers. And he's pitched really well in 6 starts. Basically, I feel like I needed another starter, and I needed a ground ball pitcher, and he was available from the Tigers. And, like I said, he's pitched really well so far for me. 2.27 ERA, 3.36 FIP in 6 starts. Again, needed a 4th or 5th starter, and I've the Brewers Stadium is it Miller Park still? I'm sure you guys let me know. I can't remember. I feel like it's something else now, but the Brewers Stadium is so it home runs increase there, right? It's a homer friendly park. So I have a lot of fly ball and extreme fly ball pitchers on the staff, so I needed a ground ball pitcher in my rotation, especially. So I went out and got Turnbull, and it's worked out well so far. I gave up. Oh, sorry. Did I? Oh, okay. Never mind. I lost track of where I was. Here I am. So I gave up Justin Bullock, who is a 24-year-old starter. This looks like a usable guy, probably in AAA. Maybe could spend some time on your major league roster, but at 24, I wasn't really too worried about giving him up. Justin King, I didn't see really as anything to give up here. 2-way player, but just not really good enough to cut it as a major league player, especially now that he's 25. And then this was just a minor trade to open up, I think, a 40-man spot, I think, maybe. Or I think I was going to DFA Bryce Wilson when I got Turnbull because I didn't have a pitcher to option. And Wilson was the guy I found. The Mariners were interested in him, so I got back just like a AAA depth outfielder for him. I gave up not much. You can see it's not a huge trade. But Wilson was just the guy who I didn't have room for anymore and wanted to get something for him. I DFA'd him. Here's my draft picks that I signed. Oh, this is my guy that I got 18th overall, Eric Batonti. He's only 17 still, and here we are in July. But he's hitting well in rookie ball. Defensive profile, not in love with it, but at 18th overall, you're going to have, if you want to get this kind of bat, he's going to have some weaknesses in his game. So we'll see how that works out. We'll see how long we do this sim. I did designate Keston Hiura for assignment finally. He was then assigned to AAA. He accepted the assignment there. He wasn't playing much. He wasn't doing much. And he doesn't have much defensive versatility. So I called up Mike Brousseau, who does. So that was June. Let's see. In July, I did finally abandon Garrett Mitchell as my center fielder with his 65 range. And his zone rating in 90 games was a negative 2.8. Just need better than that from a center fielder in this game. And he also wasn't hitting at all. His WRC plus and OPS plus were both 58 in 363 plate appearances. So I still think he's a player for us, a corner outfielder, and could be a hitter. but with how well we're playing this year and our corner outfield spots kind of spoken for, it was time to move on. I don't know how much of an upgrade Bubba Thompson from Texas is, but he's got the 70 range. His bat is like almost unplayable with how bad he's been so far this year. But, I think I prefer him to Mitchell because Mitchell was awful with the bat, but also wasn't getting it done with the glove. Thompson, is going to be a terrible bat probably batting ninth, but he's at least going to be able to get it done with the glove. You can see he's a positive zone rating player in the majors this year. Spent most of the time in the minors. I tried to get different guys. I looked at Harrison Bader. He's on the trade block from the Yankees for some reason, but the price was just ridiculous. There was another 70-plus range outfielder that I looked at other guys. Kyle Isbell from Kansas City. He's having a really good year, and he's got the 70 range. And I tried to get him, and the price was just crazy. So Bubba Thompson was the best I could do right now. And, I don't think he's the answer, but he's an upgrade, I hope, I think. So team-wise, Rowdy's still doing well, but he's certainly cooled off. Brousseau is hitting well in the time he's been up. Urias, Contreras, Anderson, Adames, all well. Joey Weimer is a prospect that I called up. He's kind of like my fourth outfielder right now, and he was performing fine in AAA, but Tyler Naquin was just miserable, doing terribly for me. So I called up Weimer, and he's done okay. Settles on with the 99 WRC+. Yelich has come on, and he's actually cooled off again lately, but he's up to a 98 WRC+, which is much better than he was doing earlier in the year. You can see if we just look by like WRC+, like his terrible April, amazing May, very good June, and then he's struggled so far in July. But overall, he's at least, I think he really carried the team for May, carried the offense. So Toro's been, totally adequate as a backup. Winker is a DH. This is just not going to work. Turang has been bad with the bat. Caratini's been a bad backup catcher. Pitching side of things, the rotation's been really good. I think my rotation is like second in the NL and ERA, right? And bullpen seventh. We're third in runs scored. Our defense is obviously bad, but runs scored we're eighth. So the pitching is actually in pretty good shape. This rotation's pretty good. I'd like to bring in a reliever or two, like maybe even to replace Miley and Guerra, because I think they're the weak links in this bullpen. I think they're fine as weak links. Like if I can't do something, I can't do something. I do wish that Craig Counsell would do something with Aaron Ashby other than have him be a specialist that has thrown 6 1/3 innings in 11 games. But that's only in July. Like he's only been back this month. Unlike in real life, where I don't think he's going to pitch this year, unfortunately, as of the reports lately, which is a major bummer. He's a fun young pitcher, but yeah, I kind of hate what Counsell's doing here with him. But in this sim, I'm not controlling the lineups, and the rotation's just not going to that level of detail. So that's going to be what it's going to be, but I don't like it. So what I would like to do with this team, and I don't know exactly who would lose spots or who would get playing time, but I think I need more depth because I don't have a lot of depth in the minors. So if somebody big gets hurt, there's going to be an issue. So I'd like to bring in like a power hitting outfield DH type bat. It would probably mean Weimer gets sent back down, and hopefully they would take some at bats from Winker at DH. I think I could also use another infielder because especially, I would love one that could play shortstop, but I don't know if that guy's going to be out there because if something were to happen to Willie Adames, Urias can't really play short all that well. Turang, I don't think can. Like these guys could fake it, but it's going to be a problem if they have to do it long term. So that's on our list for sure. I can't believe he's batting Turang first still with a 234 average, 309 on base, a 75 WRC plus. That's crazy, but whatever. Here we are. So yeah, I think an outfield DH bat, an infield bat, hopefully who can play shortstop, but I don't know if that's possible. And then basically I think just a lefty and a righty bullpen arm to maybe knock Miley and Guerra off of the roster because they just haven't performed. And he's a fly ball pitcher, right? That's going to be rough in this ballpark. Miley is a ground ball pitcher and has pitched okay. I just don't. You can get way better than he's if I got a guy who could pitch in the back end of the bullpen and knock everybody down a peg, and Miley gets knocked off the team because of that, I'm fine with that. Now, I do want to say, like, with this sim, my goal isn't necessarily to go super in deep with the trades and, hunt around the league for long periods of time. I think, part of this sim is just getting to know the new game, playing the new settings, figuring out the new features. So I have been mainly operating just like off of the trade block and finding guys there instead of like taking, 30, 60 minutes to look at like every team on the league or, et cetera. But I have identified some guys I want to go after, but, just kind of saying like, this is like a quick scan of the league kind of thing, spending like 10, 15 minutes looking around rather than going in depth. But let me see. And I do have the hard trade mode on, so we're not going to get immediate feedback, but let's go outfielders. I think that Adam Duvall, who, as we all know, after his start to the Major League season in real life this year, is possibly the best Major League player in baseball, in the history of baseball, I'd say. So he's had an absolutely terrible year for the Red Sox, but I like a few things about him. One, he's a righty. Winker's a lefty. Two, he's a fly ball hitter, and I like that coming to my park. And he can fake it in center if you need him to, and he can play all three outfield positions. He can play a little first base. I think this is a guy who, even though he has, I just said that this is a guy thing. Somebody pointed out last year, it's like Chris Collinsworth with that. This is a guy. He's a baseball player. I think he could break out for us, and I think he fits a lot of needs. Has he played any center field this year? Yeah. See, my worry is he's going to come in and be in center field and be inadequate. Like that, Council's going to make him our everyday center fielder. I think that's probably what's going to happen. But honestly, he might, if he can hit at the level he's capable of, and be like a really decent bat, like above average bat. I think I can deal with his defense, and hopefully they bring in Bubba Thompson as like a defensive replacement. So I wouldn't worry about that as much, obviously, if I was going to control the lineups, because I would keep Thompson in center and have Duvall play in the corner some, play first base some, DH a bunch, but I think he's going to end up playing center field. So I'm just going to go ahead here and, without the new, you can't make this work now. You can't get any feedback. You just listen to your assistant GM. Like I'm wondering like how willing the Red Sox are to just kind of give them away, because they're 51-49, which is not a bad record, but they're in fifth in their division. They're 2.5 out of the wild card, but there's so many teams here that they've started putting guys on the trade block. Now, do I think they would do it? I don't know. It's July 25th. Maybe they would be realistic about it and just be like, look, there's too many teams between us and the wild card. Their run differential is minus 19, right? I think they'd see that they're not really a playoff team. I don't know necessarily that a major league team would actually do this at this point, unless you're the 2022 Baltimore Orioles and you want to trade Trey Mancini and all those guys at the deadline and finish like 3 games out of the wild card. But I think, I don't know if the Red Sox would give up the potential playoff revenue when they're so close, but I think it's a reasonable thing to not go for the playoffs and kind of punt towards next year. So let's just find like a random dude and see what, like TJ Shook. This is a guy who's 25. This is a guy. He's pitching in Double-A. He's extreme fly ball. If you squint hard enough, or if they're higher on him than us, maybe they see him as like a back end of the rotation arm, possibly, if he continues, if he improves. So my assistant GM doesn't think it's a crazy deal. Now maybe we can get them to like. Let's just see if they'll retain like 20%. So it's crazy to think they might come back and say like, you're out of your mind. I like this new trade system a lot. I think it's way more realistic to how like a trade, how trades would actually go. Obviously it's not quite as realistic, but it's better than just being like, make this work now, or getting immediate feedback to where you can just fiddle with it forever and ever. That's what she said. So yeah, let's submit this and just see what they do. So that's that move. I'm gonna hold off on the infielder thing, I think, for right now, and a couple other. Where was I going? I'm going to player trade block. A couple relievers that I want to look at. That's what we're doing. Jason Adam from the Rays. Now, I won't always trade for guys who shouldn't be on the trade block. Like Hunter Renfroe is available, even though the Angels are battling for a playoff spot. So is like one of their starting pitchers. And I'm just not going to do that because I think, that they shouldn't be on the block. Really, like I'm saving the team from themselves. But like relievers, like I don't think that applies. Like if a team wants to trade a reliever when they're in the playoff hunt, I'll take them from them. I won't add the realism of not doing it. The Rays are tied for the last wild card spot, but I will take Jason Adam from them. And I will like it. He's only pitched 4 games this month. Like it doesn't look like he pitches a ton for them. He's on pace to pitch 50 games, so yeah. But this he would help me fill out the bullpen a bit. So again, I'm just gonna kind of go to like not the bottom tier prospect, but guys that I don't necessarily see like a future with. Like that's actually a little bit better of a player, and because he's still so young. Like Jose Acosta is. I mean, I don't think there's any way they would do this. This guy he's 23 and he's just not going to reach any level. Is this too good to be true? Yeah. See, I don't think I'm going to start off the negotiation on that foot with him because I don't think they'd really even think about it. Who's this guy? 21-year-old pitcher in A-ball, but I don't know that I see a major league future for this guy. I mean, he could improve, of course, but this movement, man, like that's going to be a problem in a home run ballpark. Like I'm willing to give up Edwin Jimenez. Oh, he's still got the same reaction. Let's just do it. Let's just see what they say. And then there was one other dude. I wanted to bring in a lefty, and I thought Joely Rodriguez, extreme ground ball, that movement, like I think this would play really well in our ballpark. So I'd like to see what the Red Sox want for him. And again, just kind of like give up an older guy. Wes Clark, 23. He's got no defensive profile. Like this guy could possibly be interesting to somebody who sees that eye and that home run power. So the OSA is even a little high on, but with no, at 23, I don't think he's going to improve a ton. He has no defensive positioning, like position future. And that contact and that avoid Ks, like I just don't see it working out for him as a player in my organization. So, but he's a player who possibly could be interesting to other teams. So let's just submit it. Let's see what they say. And then, so we're just going to finish today and hopefully we get some immediate replies. Sometimes they come back. Oh, they both say almost. Oh, they want to send us Braxton Garrett, but they want Weimer, who I kind of like. I like Geraldo, I guess. No, that was the guy. Never mind. That was it. I don't like this guy. I just tried him. Let me come back to that. Okay, so this is the Shook for Duvall trade. So is there anybody who's kind of, oh, yeah, I'll give you Jefferson Tales. Let's just add in Tales and complete this trade. And they're taking 20%. Okay, yep, we're going to complete that trade. The fans are happy that I got Adam Duvall because he's the greatest player in the history of baseball. So now they got back to me at this Joely Rodriguez for Wes Clark or any of these guys. See, I don't want to give up like a real player in this deal. Like all these guys are kind of, no. I mean, he's out for 6 months. His control's an issue, but he's only 21 and he's got great fastball, great slider, good stuff. He throws 99. I'm not giving that guy up. Sal Frelick, I'm not giving up. Get out of here. I'm not giving up that guy. Not giving up my starting pitcher or anyone on my major league roster. I could see maybe giving up this guy, but it kind of worries me that he's 19. I don't really want to give up a 19-year-old for like a nothing reliever. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to hold off on that, Boston. I'm going to hold off on that. So now this is the Rays getting back to us about Jason Adam. And it looks like Jason Adam I'm a little more willing to give up like a real player for. Oh, Luke Voigt is in AAA. Yeah, I'll give you Luke Voigt, I think. Probably pretty obviously we'll give you Luke Voigt in this deal. Let's just click through the rest of the guys to make sure there's not a... And we already looked at this guy. Oh, that's a decent player in AA. Owen Miller, I don't think we're not going to give him up. Toro. Yeah, I'll throw in Luke Voigt to get Jason Adam for sure. And we're giving up Edwin Jimenez, who is a decent-looking player. He can't imagine. That's funny. He says, GM, I can't imagine they'll consider accepting this deal. And they say, done deal. So, as always, don't listen to your assistant GM, but it's tough when he's the only feedback you're getting before you submit the trade. Let's go ahead and complete that trade. So now we're going to, I think for now, Weimer's going to be the odd guy out in the outfield for now. We'll see what happens. He's played fine, but we're going to bring, wrong tab. We're going to bring Duvall in. And then pitching, I don't know that I have anybody who has options here. I think I've just got a DFA Miley or Guerra. I think this guy might have options, but he's pitching out of the back end of my bullpen. I don't really want to send him down. Let me just confirm. Yeah, out of option years. Miley's not going to. So, let's see. Will anybody give me an infielder if I retain 50? Like, maybe I could get that, shortstop infielder guy I'm looking for. Brett Beatty is an interesting name to have out there. I guess they're just giving him away in this game. Weird. I'm not going to pull the trigger on that right now, but Josh Harrison doesn't have any shortstop experience. Vargas, I guess, is the kind of guy we're looking for. Last option year. So yeah, this guy could basically be our minor league depth, I think I need more depth at infield, and I guess he could give that to me. I don't love that trade. Ahmed Rosario is having a miserable year, but can play shortstop. Wow, he's having a really bad year. He's a free agent after the year. That would be interesting to bring him. Hopefully he'd be on the bench, and we would send down Brousseau or Toro, who have both played fine, but this is just about getting more depth. I think the Rosario deal actually, I think I might be willing to do this. But I would like them to retain a bunch of his salary and just see what they say. All right, so we'll give this a day to see if we can get Adam back on the roster by trading Guerra in that trade. I don't know that they're going to want to retain that much of his salary. I'd be surprised. Oh, Cleveland said almost. Oh, we're getting a bunch of trade proposals too. I'm going to need to look at them in a second. A deal is on. So 19-year-old catcher. Yeah, I'm willing to do that guy. I'm willing to do that guy. Pretty much any of these guys I'm willing to give you. Who's the oldest player? Yeah. Okay. Let's or how about this guy? Yeah. So Pedro Rivas is going to go into this deal, and we'll bring in Ahmed Rosario, which is going to. It'll be interesting to see what Craig Counsell does with this team now, because so we should have moved a spot, right? Jason Adams is going to go in, and then I think we'll send down. Brousseau has hit really well in his 26 games, 43 plate appearances. He's got a 357 BABIP, but I think he's obviously playing over his head, and he could easily be up really soon. He certainly earned more time, but for right now, he's just going to be the odd man out, and we're going to bring in Rosario, and let's just see what he's going to do now. Did he not change anything? Womp womp. So Duvall isn't going to get any bats at DH? You kidding me? Here, let me. Wow. Okay. Craig Counsell and I are not on the same page with this roster. So Rosario comes in and is going to play every 6 days at DH, every 15 days. He's going to play a lot in left field. Wow, he's challenged. He's going to take a lot of. Whoa, he's taking a lot of playing time from Yelich. Every other game against lefties, every fourth game against righties. Duvall is just an if starter tired guy. And is he here too? Oh, every 20th game against lefties at first base. Every 5th game in right field. So neither of those guys are playing on. I mean, I think our team is better. Our roster's better, but I'm not sure our team is too much better with how Counsell's going to deploy those guys. A little disappointing. Let's see what Jason Adam goes to the back end of the bullpen. Everybody gets pushed down a spot. I like that a lot. I'd like to bring in a lefty who's pitching more in the back end and bump Miley off the roster. That Joey Rodriguez deal, I'm not sure I love. I'll take a look at more of these trades and then come back and finish the trade deadline by like going through the new trade, embarrassing myself by recording, playing the trade deadline feature, which I'm still not very comfortable with. But so that's where the team stands now. I don't know that we're better, mainly because of the way that our manager is deploying the guys. But hey, I just construct the roster and he fills out the lineup cards. So it's a day before the trade deadline now, and I did just bring in Enrique Hernandez from Boston. I've been doing some shopping in Boston to play second base because Bryce Terang, man, just like a 70 WRC plus, wasn't getting it done. My offense is struggling, and Hernandez was on the trade block, and I went out and got him. And then I optioned Terang, who was hitting leadoff despite his like 70 WRC plus. So it was like, great, now I've got Enrique in here. We'll have a better leadoff hitter, and he's on outfitters. And then Council now has Bubba Thompson hitting leadoff against lefties and righties. The guy has had 89 plate appearances between two teams this year with a 23 WRC plus, a 246 on base, a 196 slug. He's batting leadoff. Just so dumb. Yeah, you gotta laugh. So that's the trade I made. I rejected some trades that came in. I still haven't been able to find a lefty reliever, a deal that like makes sense. That's really the one thing on the shopping list that's still out there as we go into trade deadline day. Of course, like if the Yankees come calling with like Bader or something like that, like I'm listening. But I don't know that I'm going to go crazy trying to go find trades. Like I said, this is an exploratory sim, not a deep dive sim. So we'll see what the trade deadline brings. It might be kind of boring, but maybe it'll be fun. So I'm at the 30th here. Hopefully I don't screw anything up at this trade deadline, like accidentally skip the round like when I have before. Yeah. So let's go ahead and go to trade deadline day. And now I haven't done this trade deadline since like the one time I played it through. I did it once, like the live. I did a video where I just went through for the first time. I've not done it since then. So, well, the Athletics sent this trade to us on trade deadline day. Everybody wants Joey Weimer, and they want him for cheap. It's not happening, folks. It's not happening. I'm going to reject it. I don't even want that in my face when I go to the trade deadline screen. No, Chiriot got player of the week. He's down in Double-A. He's finally gotten hot here. He's got 5 home runs in his last 4 games. He's getting a little second base time too. So, all right. So we just lost to the Braves 7-0. We're 16-45. We're still in first. So let's go to the trade deadline day. Let's start trade deadline day. Again, I think like what I'm doing here is just going to like embarrass myself recording this, not really knowing what I'm doing. Like why did I just get sent to this screen? Hold on. Like I was trying to go to how do I go back to the trade deadline? Because I don't want to like skip. Okay, here we go. So completed deals, got it. Okay. So that they're offering Bass, who's a righty. I don't really need a righty. I guess on the right deal, like I'd make this trade. This guy's an interesting pitcher. He's 20. I'm actually more interested in him than I am in Anthony Bass. What is? Oh God, it's doing this thing again. Can't look at OSA. Whatever. Yeah, somebody mentioned that it's like my resolution probably. But yeah, I feel like the default should not allow your resolution to like be played on a thing where like I can't flip back and forth between maybe I can now. It's gonna do the same thing. All right. Anyways, so this guy is interesting. I don't know that he's what we need right now. Owen Miller. I mean, I would give him up. He's a good depth infielder, and we don't have much depth. But what about this guy? I don't really want to give up this 18-year-old outfield prospect who has a 65 range. If that goes to a 70, yeah. No, I'm not going to do that right now. Like, we're just not gonna. That's not the world we're operating in right now. We're looking for like a lefty reliever. So they want to send us Joe Jimenez, who I don't really like have a lot of interest in, an extreme fly ball pitcher who's going to pitch in the back end of my bullpen. They want Keston Hiura. Totally willing to trade Keston Hiura. But I don't. Oh, this is actually an interesting player. I mean, he's way far away, and could not pan out at all. But for Hira, I don't really mind that. I don't want to trade Abraham Toro. A lot of teams have come calling for him here. That's an interesting player for sure. But now's not the time for me to trade him. I don't think. Maybe I should be pulling the trigger on this. Only got a minute to decide. 3 minutes to decide. Maybe I should be pulling the trigger on this. Just it feels weird though to trade a guy who's like in my higher minors in his depth for a guy who's way far away when I'm trying to win. Even though Hira probably won't be on my team again this season, but he could be. Oh wait, this is Toro. Sorry. Yeah, I really don't want to trade Toro. He's been a league average player for me. I think he's a piece for me here. Matt Keating. Okay, we're not thinking about this trade. Get this out of here. So this is a trade that I'd offered to them, and then they were like, nah, and they wanted something else. I wouldn't mind Richard Blyer. He's in the minors for them, but I wouldn't mind him because I think he'd be a really good lefty reliever for him. Maybe I just asked them to retain too much of the salary. Let's try that, and I think we'll hear back from them in the next go round. All right, that's there. Yeah, okay. So we're not going to do this Jimenez deal. Let's clear that out. We're not going to do this Toro deal or that Toro deal. I just don't want to trade Abraham Torres right now. Oh, yeah, this is another trade I was working on. But yeah, they just want too much. I don't want to give up Wes Clark, I don't think. I would give up Wes Clark. I know I did that, but they wanted more plus Clark. I don't really think I want to do that. Are you guys getting like pitch clock anxiety? Being like, dude, get to this before it goes to the next thing. Yeah, I don't really know that I want Craig Kimbrell. I guess this is a decently interesting pitching prospect who's probably not going to pan out. That guy's not really of interest. Kimbrell is a fly ball pitcher on an expensive deal, and I just don't think I need him. I think if I was going to give up Toro, I would bring in something that I really needed. Now, one thing I don't mind doing, can I do anything if I pause it? No, you can't like even look at anything. Wow, are the Otters and Fairy Hawks discussing a deal? Well, that's an interesting thing for the rumors. Okay. The Canaries and the Honey Hunters looking for it. What does this do? Just every rumor in baseball? So in these 45 seconds, and I'm sure I can probably go beyond that, what I'm interested in is, can I bring in a lefty reliever for Keston Hira? Because it seems like a couple teams are interested in him. No, it's all like big money guys. Bass is a righty. Strom is a lefty. 2 years. He's 2 years, $7.5 million left, and he's a fly ball pitcher. Estevez is a righty. Well, that's disappointing. Let's see if we'd get more. TJ Antone is also a righty. I think it's just going to skip in the next thing. Like the clock will just go. Right? What happens when the time runs out? I don't know. Is that 1 second? Oh, processing. You have 5 minutes. Oh, I received a reply. Where is it? I think that goes to the inbox, right? So to get Blyer, they want Jason Lopez. I'm fine giving up. That's like a nothing. That guy, we know I'm not giving him up. See, this is just like, I shouldn't have to give up. Shouldn't have to, but I don't want to give up this, like, a legitimate player in my system just to get a reliever that's in AAA for them right now, is making too much money. Wait, is he signed next year too? Oh, it's a team option. Okay. Is that really worth the upgrade from Wade Miley? I'm not convinced it is. This is crazy what they're wanting. I wonder if I'm just asking them to I wonder if they just really don't like this salary retention. That's fine. Let's go 30% and submit it. So I thought maybe more. So do more offers not come in? Maybe I said this in my. So new offers don't come in. I mean, I guess I can go make trades, right? Yeah. But new offers don't come in. So I probably should have had like more of a game plan for more pitchers that I wanted to target. I think that's, probably an important thing to do before you get on the clock here. But let's see if we can get Joely Rodriguez. Talking to him about two different lefties. Things are busy between me and Boston. They're like the one team I'm trading with, apparently. Like this guy's 24. Like, do you have any interest in this guy, Xavier Warren? All right. Let's go ahead and skip to the next one. And I did get a trade proposal. Okay, so I can get proposals. Cool. Oh, JT Brubaker. Okay. What are you wanting? This is like my top pitching prospect. He's a top 100 prospect. No, thank you. For a 29-year-old Brubaker, like, I think Gasser could come up and be him now. And that guy, yeah, get absolutely as far out of here as you can with that offer. So what did they have to say? So they said almost, but it's like the same dudes. This is the Joely Rodriguez deal. All right, is this guy? No. All these guys are just like decent. I mean, this guy isn't, but he's like a 20-year-old. Well, this pitcher's probably going nowhere, right? I don't think he's ever making the majors. Probably, if push comes to shove, we'll do that trade right there. Some of these offers are just crazy. Let's see what they say for Blyer. Yeah, it's going to be a no from me on all those names. But I think we've got a match here. I think I'm okay giving up this guy. Fly ball pitcher, throws 86 to 88. Just no dominant pitches. Maybe he can get himself together, but yeah, this is the kind of guy I'm absolutely fine giving up for Joely Rodriguez. And this guy too. So it was, no, who was it? I don't want to give that guy. All right, so Gonzalez, we can put in this trade. And go ahead and complete trade. And then we'll see. This is going to bump Wade Miley off the old roster here. So we'll shop him around. Let's just like see, like, can we get like a prospect for him if we retain like 50%? Anybody into that? No. What if I retain most of it? Nah, I think Wade might just have to be DFA'd here. Is that my last single shot player attempt? I didn't even realize that. Oops. We can get a bunch of contracts dumped on us. Teams are willing to give us a bunch of contracts that they don't want anymore. I mean, Josh Harrison is actually not a terrible ad given our struggles in some of the infield positions, but I just don't have room for him on my major league roster. I mean, honestly, I would just like to get rid of his salary. They weren't going to give me a single prospect, so I can't imagine there's a prospect package. No. All right. All players. Sorry about that. So, yeah, we're not going to take on these salaries. Not going to take on these salaries. No. Oh, where'd that one deal go? There was one where it was like some minor league dudes and Josh Harrison. I guess they changed my. Here are a bunch of league minimum guys. Meneses. Does he have option years? Like, I'm not interested in any of these guys, but I improved my money available. I'm just making sure they're all optionable. Let me discuss this with them. Yeah, it improved by a whole $471,000. Is that even worth the effort? Just make sure none of these guys are like, I'm not locked into anything with them next year. No, they're all minimum, so I can release them for nothing. Yeah, I mean, we'll make this trade. Get an extra $471,000, and then I have room on my 40 man. Hopefully no one's too upset that we trade Wade. What's like his popularity? Oh, he's unknown. He's not really a leader. Okay, yeah, we can do that. Back to the one thing I don't one guy think you can help me with. If you go to this continue trade deadline, it just like, oh, is this where I can access it? Okay, that's where I can access it without skipping forward. Got it. Kelnick got traded. It finally had enough in Seattle. Mitch Garver. The Orioles traded Jordan Westberg, who's like a top 100 prospect, for just some reliever. That doesn't make sense. They really like trading. Oh, they finally traded Brett Beatty. Liam Hendricks going back the other way. And we are out of time. How do I know how many windows I have left? Oh, right here. We're on 4 out of 4. Got it. Oh, Kyle Stowers just... Wait, did they not accept that trade they said they were going to accept? You proposed that to me, dude. Get out of here. You proposed that trade to me. Like, I shopped him, and you said, cool, here's what I'm willing to do. Your reputation's going to take a hit, GM. Whoever you are, Nationals GM. What do they want? Oh, they want Matt Bush and Sal Frelick and $3.6 million. Why did I mean, I like Kyle Stowers. As an O's fan, like, I'll take Kyle Stowers off you, but I'm not giving up any of those assets. We'll talk about Stowers after the season, maybe. But get out of here. Oh, they're back with this Kimbrel nonsense? No. And then, like, we're just gonna DFA Miley, I guess. It's an option year, I think, next year, right? Yeah, team option. So we won't be on the hook for any of it. We'll just go ahead and waive and DFA him. Even though he's a positive WAR player. He's got, he's pitched probably way better than we expected, but we've got better options now. So, I want to thank Wade for his time, his dedication to the organization. But, it's just time for us to go in a different direction. So Joely Rodriguez will come in here and be the top lefty in our bullpen, which I don't love, but just wasn't a lot else out there that we could do. I think Ethan Small is a good reliever. He's a lefty. I think Aaron Ashby is a good reliever. I think we have 3 good lefties, just he's not pitching any of them in the back end of the bullpen. But, whatever. We're just going to go on Bubba Thompson as our one of the worst hitters in baseball, probably the worst hitter in baseball this year, as our leadoff hitter on a team that's trying to make the postseason. All right, so that let's go ahead and wrap the trade deadline here. How do I do that again? I hit like this, right? Continue trade deadline day. Processing. Wait, I thought it was at 4 out of 4. Trade deadline final. Set up here 4 out of 4, then you get a final one? Huh. That's suspicious. I think that's it though. I think I'm good. Oh gosh, the Orioles traded a bunch of prospects, including Cade Povich, who's for Luis Ariz. Man, I don't know about that, Orioles. I mean, I like Luis Ariz, but if you're gonna trade Cade Povich, I think you got to make it count a little bit more than that. Were there any crazy trades? Anyways, I've messed around with this long enough. Yeah, that does it here for the Brewers at the trade deadline. We'll go into the rest of the season at 60 and 45 in first place, and we'll see what we can do. The trade deadline has passed. Yes, that is the end of the trade deadline. We've reached the end of the regular season, and your Brewers have won the NL Central by 10 games over the Cardinals, 97 wins. So we are the third division winner, which means we get to play in the wild card round. We'll play the Cardinals in the best of 3. All games in Milwaukee, though. Maybe it doesn't go without saying. But I'm not going to play those games out. Like I said, this is just kind of a quick sim. Getting a feel for the game, playing it out. I figure out when it's time to start a longer-term sim. Expanded standings. Our run differential ended up plus 121, which is not bad. We were plus 3 in differential. And with the Cardinals being -6, we're pretty similar teams here. Their run differential is actually 5 runs better than ours. Looking at the hitters, just sorting by WAR here. Willie Adames, a great year. Enrique Hernandez came over and was a beast. 152 WRC plus and 2.1 WAR in 57 games. 321, 377, 555 slug, fueled by a 345 BABIP, which is probably a bit above his career. He's a 282 BABIP guy, but man, what a season for good old Enrique Hernandez. Urias had an excellent season, missed a little bit of time because of injury. Rowdy, he had that monster start, but he still ended up pretty good with the 130 WRC plus, hit 36 bombs, drove in 112 guys, and a 505 slug. So a good season for Rowdy for sure. William Contreras, a solid season. Brian Anderson missed some time, but had a nice season. Bryce Terang came up when we had some injuries. I think like when Urias and Anderson were down, he came up. He had one really good month, but overall he's a good glove. Put up 1.5 WAR with a bad WRC plus, but not. We were hoping for a little bit more from him, especially since Craig Counsell insists on batting him leadoff. Toro with the 90 WRC plus off the bench, we'll take that. Yelich, hoping for a little bit more from Yelich in his 92 WRC plus and 0.8 WAR. Only 7 home runs too. Wow, man, he really misses that rabbit ball. Bubba Thompson is hurt for the next 3 days, so he'll come back for the last game of the St. Louis series. I think I am going to leave him on the playoff roster, which might seem dumb, but I'm gonna. Maybe he's gonna play some Gold Glove defense in Game 3 of the series. Caratini was fine as a backup catcher. Ahmed Rosario really had a rough time in Cleveland. With us, he was fine. His WAR was exactly 0 in 43 games. His WRC plus was 92. So he didn't light it up, but he was all right. For us, he played a little bit of shortstop and mainly left field when he did play. He primarily played just against lefties. And who else do we have here? So Jesse Winker put up negative 0.5 WAR with a 92 WRC plus. So his bat was all right, but I guess his fielding, his zone rating was positive. He was. Wait, so he only played 9 games in the field? Huh. Okay. Did not realize that. Adam Duvall, man, disaster season. W1.7 WAR, 62 WRC plus. He came over for us in 98 plate appearances, put up a 44 WRC plus, struck out in 38.8% of his plate appearances, had a 224 BABIP. So everything went wrong. He was bad. His luck was bad. Was really hoping that as a power bat, fly ball power hitter in Milwaukee that he could come to life, but he did not. Pitching. Our rotation is going to be Burns, Woodruff, Peralta. Burns, you can see, was just dominant. 4.8 WAR, 4.9 R WAR, an ERA 3.52, FIP of 3.48, 10.8 Ks per 9, a 21% strikeout to walk rate. Just a really, really good season from Corbin. Freddie Peralta was excellent. Spencer Turnbull came over and 18 starts for us, put up a 3.14 ERA. He had a 1.9 WAR. He pitched really well, and the ground ball pitcher, his home runs were low. Great season for him. He's not going to be in the rotation because we're still going to lean on Brandon Woodruff, who put up 1.9 WAR but 3.3 R WARs. His ERA is 4.14. FIP was 4.62, but his SIERA was 3.24. So maybe in some ways might have pitched a bit better than his results, but at the same time, a little bit of a bummer of a season from him. But these 1.6 home runs were an issue, which is not a huge surprise in out-of-the-park baseball when you have a fly ball pitcher in a home run-friendly park. Corbin is neutral, yeah. So we'll see what we do with Woodruff after the year. We've only got one more year of team control with him. He's coming off not a great year, and he's going to be 31 in February, and he's a fly ball pitcher. What I'm hinting at is that I'm going to shop him around in the offseason, and if I can extend one of these guys, Burns or Woodruff, it's going to be Burns. Jason Adam came over and was real good for us in 15 games with a 0.00 ERA. That'll play, and a 1.84 FIP. Bush, Williams, Payamps, all had good seasons. Wade Miley made it back onto the roster after we DFA'd him, but I brought him back, worked out some optioning stuff. Really, everybody was here was solid. Eric Lauer didn't have a great season. And actually, I'm going to take Lauer off the playoff roster and move Aaron Ashby on. Just noticed that the computer had done that. So we're going to put Ashby on the roster because I think he's a better pitcher. He's going to be a specialist. So what do we have? I think we have one more day until we play. Today's the 2nd. Yeah. So let's just go ahead and see what – I have a personal message. Ooh. Oh, right. I claimed this guy from the Rockies who's 25. Looks like a AAA depth piece who can come up if you have some injuries. He's got 2 option years left. He's making the league minimum. I figured he's worth a claim. So we'll go ahead and place him on the 40-man, demote him to AAA, and he might never pitch an inning for me, but he's there if we need him. All right, so the Cardinals are up. Oh, they have Tim Anderson. They made a trade with the White Sox on the 29th. I might have seen this already. Did I see this already? For 5 prospect. That's a good prospect. Oh, God. The back button, man. I still am not used to that. All right. So they didn't get nothing for him. Like, none of these guys are, like, can't miss guys. But, man, like, there's some decent to get 5 guys of that quality is there's some decent dart throws. Now Anderson is under control for 1 more year. The White Sox are taking 95%. Okay, so they're basically getting him for free. Well, good for you, St. Louis. Then we got Carlson, appears to have had a really good season. He did. Goldschmidt, Arenado, Gordon, all with really good seasons. One of my guy I really like a lot, Tyler O'Neill, had an all right season. Lars Nootbaar had a good season. Edman, Barrera's catching. Wow, what's going on with the other Contreras? Oh, so we're not going to get Contreras on Contreras catcher battle because Wilson is out with a fractured thumb. So that's a bummer for everybody who likes sibling rivalries. I apologize for the letdown. Bailey Ober is our number 1 starter, who they got on trade deadline day, along with Austin Martin. Huh. Okay. I feel like there's a pitcher that I'm forgetting about. I'm kind of tired and fighting a little bit of a cold. I don't know if you can tell my voice, so I'm not going to try to rack my brain, but Montgomery, Miles Michaelis, what about they were 2nd in runs scored and 6th in runs allowed, 4th in zone rating, but really, like, we're only a 500 team in August and September, and then lost again. That's why they didn't really make a charge on us. July they were 18-8. April they were 18-10. May they slumped. So had a couple good months, a couple bad months, and then a bunch of 500 months, and here they are. I didn't look at this for my club yet. 6th in runs scored, 3rd in runs allowed, 9th in zone rating. You hate to see that, but look at our August 17-9, September 18-11. We were great after the trade deadline. Even though, like, it clearly wasn't because of Adam Duvall. All right, so let's see what happens here. We'll go ahead and finish the day, see what Craig Counsell can do for us. Oh, he won 9-8. Turang suffered a setback. Oh, and he's out for 1 to 2 weeks. Like, unavailable? I don't really want to, like, IL him because then he's out for the next playoff series too, but that might be 2 weeks away. I'm not sure what to do about that. He played that whole game. So we scored 4 in the bottom of the 9th. I thought I had game logs on for my team. I don't know what's going on. No home runs in the 9th. We had a double from Turang. Corbin Burns got shelled. Wow. Ashby pitched. So quite a comeback. We went up 2-0, and then Burns just didn't pitch well, and then we were down 9-2, and 8-2, and came back and won 9-8. That's huge. All right, let's see what we can do next game. Ooh, 6-1 loss. Bryce Strang is still playing. It says he's day-to-day. It's only moderate on running. It's made it look like he was out, though. I guess it just means his injury's going to linger for that long. Peralta pitched. Not a great outing from him. Spencer Turnbull came out of the bullpen and did not pitch very well. But our offense didn't do anything. Looks like Yelich doubled a guy home in the second to give us a 1-0 lead, and then it was all Cardinals from there. So hopefully we can do the thing here. Oh, we did the thing. We play the next day in LA. We don't get a day off. Wow. That's something. So we won 2-1. Oh, Yelich he must have had a big game because he won Series MVP. He went 3 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI. He had 2 doubles. So good for him. Woodruff pitched really well. Ashby, Williams, the 2-inning save, 36 pitches. I can't believe we had to play the next day. That's wild. That is something. Do we have a pitcher who can pitch for us? No. Like our... Because Turnbull was in the rotation, or in the bullpen and he pitched, and all 3 of these guys started. So I guess like Wade Miley is probably going to come in as the emergency SP. That'll be fun just to see what the AI does. I think it'll probably be Miley, I assume. I'm not going to make any changes here, but we're playing the Dodgers. What was their deal this season? 102-60. Okay. They have Tony Kemp as their leadoff hitter, which is, well, he was on fire for them. A 120 WRC plus after trading for him in 65 games. Mookie, Freddie, look like they all had good seasons. Urias, May, Gonsolin, Syndergaard is their rotation. They were first in runs scored. They were second in runs against. Yeah, this is going to be a tough series here, but especially with Wade Miley starting game 1. And then I'm not even sure if one of those guys will be rested for game 2. Did Miley start? What happened? Yeah, Miley started and did not throw very well. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but Enrique Hernandez had a home run. So do we have like a starter who's rested enough for this game? We do not. I feel like I should do something about this at this point. Oh wait, but the series started, so I can't bring a starter back in. I mean, so it's got to be Aaron Ashby, right? That's who's gonna start. 5 days in a row with a travel day to Los Angeles in the middle of it is rough. I mean, maybe they'll start Turnbull at 66% or Burns at 68%. This will be fun to see what they do. Let's see what they do here. I mean, I guess it's Ashby. Oh, no, they started Burns, and he went 5 innings, 4 runs, 81 pitches on short rest. Interesting. Urias hit a home run for us. That was our only run, and we lost 4-1. So now we'll get a day off to catch our breath, travel home. And our pitching should be good now. Yeah, we've got Peralta and Woodruff. It's going to start Peralta over. Oh, I'm sorry. Peralta and Turnbull are rested. So Peralta's listed as the starter here with the season on the line. Ooh, we won 14-7. Not messing around here. Who went yard? Contreras. Rowdy hit 2 home runs. Urias went yard. Winker went yard. Peralta went 6 innings. Corbin Burns came in relief. What the hell? We had an off day before that. Well, I mean, I know Miley. No, that doesn't make any. Why is? Oh, their his starting rotation, but his secondary role, middle relief, setup, long relief. So they're gonna bring these guys in at times. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Where the secondary role for a starter, like even in the postseason, I don't think that's happened before. This is why this is a practice sim. I don't think that's supposed to happen. All right, but we won with middle reliever Corbin Burns. Oh, Woodruff has a dead arm? Is it because he pitched out of the bullpen too? Well, we lost, and the season is over. Woodruff started. None of our starting pitchers came in out of the bullpen on like a day's rest, so that's a plus. But we've lost to the Dodgers in 4 games. You know what? Overall, like I think we'll take this season. We'll take it, making it to the winning the division, making it out of the wild card round into the NLDS, and losing to the Dodgers, who we had to face on no rest with basically none of our starters ready to go. We didn't have a fully rested starter throw until Game 3. But let's just go ahead and finish the postseason here to see what happens. I'll just kind of talk about. So we've got it's happening quickly. Padres, Dodgers, and then the Astros beat the Orioles. That doesn't seem very realistic. I think the Orioles are winning that matchup every time. Clearly. Well, I got people retiring. Oh, I can start the international free agents. You can now list of players can now be found. Oh, so I gotta sneeze. Woo. All right. I'm just kind of going freestyle here. Probably not going to edit any of this out. But, all right. I'll come back to the international free agents. I don't know if I'm going to play another season on this. I think I'll play one more. But I'm not that worried about signing international free agents because I'm not going to, play, 5 years into the future on this. So, let's just go into the playoffs end here. Yeah, I mean, Astros over the Orioles. We all know that's never happening. Orioles are a dynasty. But the Padres swept the Dodgers. The Padres won, 88 games. Padres, Astros, 1-1. So yeah, like I said, I'm not going to worry about the international free agents because I'm just going to maybe play another season or two, maybe try to deal Woodruff and see what happens, see what we can do, just for fun. And the Astros have won the World Series 4-2. So Houston Astros fans are happy. I don't know if anybody else is. So, We'll go ahead and end the video there and come back and do a fun off season. Oh, I got some people retiring. Let's see who that is. Oh, my bench coach. Okay, it wasn't like Craig Counsell retiring at an early age. Oh, the league is looking to expand. I guess I'll let that happen. Sure. All right. Anyways, we got some work to do. Arbitration's begun, etc. We'll kick that off next video. Thanks for watching. Go Brewers. Back better than ever next year.